Thanks. Here's an interesting one. Where do crayons go on vacation? Colorado. Hi everyone. Welcome to the next episode of our Q&A series. My name is Maciek. I'm one of the leaders of Enxoo comms industry practice, and in this series of videos, I'm presenting my point of view on some topics related to the comms industry APification. Question for today. Everybody talks about NaaS, but what it is? Let me try to explain that in brief. For many years, the comms industry relied on manual ways of working. You requested a quote, you negotiated that, signed an order, which then was picked up by the service delivery team. Having technicians dispatched on site, they installed required cabling and configured service with the use of some abracadabra scripting, all taking weeks or days in the best case scenario. That's telecommunications, but does it have to be like that? When you purchase, for example, cloud services like from the likes of AWS or Google, or even when you purchase Netflix, you can get those services in the matter of minutes, if not seconds, on demand, real time. You can pay only for what you actually used and resign as soon as you no longer need them. Apparently, this type of experience is what customers are asking for today, and communication service providers are challenged to try to meet these expectations. For many years, there was a technological difficulty to be able to do that, because to deliver all the networking services, you first needed to have infrastructure in place. But what happened in the networking space resembles very much what was happening in the computing a few decades ago, when client-server applications emerged. Initially, many of those relied on physical servers that had to be installed and configured to run software. But at a certain point, people started to realize that thanks to a technique called virtualization, you can share the same physical server to run multiple applications, and it's cheaper and a lot easier to maintain. What started to happen in the networking space, I think on a broader scale about a decade ago, CSPs started to overlay their physical infrastructure with a software layer, which with the use of a technique called NFV, Network Function Virtualization, allowed them to control the network and spin up services remotely without human intervention, achieving something that is called SDN, Software-Defined Networking or Software-Defined Network. And that's a technological shift that's been happening in the industry for a few years already, and it's something that is an enabler for NaaS, Network as a Service concept. So what is Network as a Service? Well, there are many definitions already, so let me come up with yet another one. NaaS is a new paradigm where networking and other communication services can be purchased and delivered instantly, on demand, in a zero-touch manner across the whole communications industry ecosystem with an end-to-end frictionless experience. Just like cloud services. What does it actually mean? Let's take a look at a practical example. Let's imagine we have an enterprise customer, maybe an international financial institution, and that customer needs to build a private secure network connecting all of its international branches, as well as their core applications hosted partially in the private space in one of the US data centers and partially in the cloud. Traditionally, that customer had to seek for a service provider or a number of them that would build such a network, manually interacting with their salespeople and network engineers, and wait weeks and weeks for continuous site installation. And with NaaS, the paradigm changes. The customer can self-serve himself. An IT pro buyer persona representing such customer can purchase site and cloud connectivity using a portal or even an API. Network services are spun up instantly, and if devices are needed, they are just shipped via courier for a plug-and-play installation on-site. If a certain branch location is not within the range of a particular service provider's network, underlying last-mile connectivity can be seamlessly provisioned by a third party, again in a transparent manner thanks to the API-driven automated ecosystem. And if the customer is, for example, organizing a company-wide town hall meeting that requires peak bandwidth for the duration of, let's say, 2 hours, that can also be provisioned upon a click of a button and disabled right after the event is finished. And of course, what I'm describing here is still a work in progress and a vision for the industry and for many service providers. But for a few market leaders, they already started their NaaS journey, and they already have some offerings in place. I hope you like this brief explanation. Let me know what you think about the topic in the comments, and if you have any topics you'd like me to cover in the next episodes, let us know. Cheers!